Okay, now we're going to be solving systems for x and y without the benefit of a graph. Now there are two ways to do this, but you can only use one way is the right way. One way, okay, you're going to learn one way today, so it's not like I'm going to be going back and forth. Solve each system using a method known as substitution. Solve each system using substitution. Okay. Well, you have y equals 3x, and then right beneath it you have x plus y equals negative 32. So you're going to find where the lines cross without graphing. Well, how are we going to accomplish that? Well, substitution, this is what we do. I need to find a letter that's all by itself. Now that can be x or it can be y. It can be either one of them. So get that through your head right now. It can be x, it can be y. Well, if I make a line on that side, there's an x there, but it ain't by itself. There's a 3. If I make a wall on this side, oh yeah, I'd have a y by itself. We got it. Box it. Okay? Then circle what it equals, the whole thing. That is known as your base. Okay? Y is known as the base variable because that's the one by itself, and this is known as the base equation. Base. Now you write the other equation, the off base equation, over here. X plus y equals negative 32. Now, this is going to lead to heartbreak if you don't do something. You need to make sure x and y have coefficient multipliers. And if they don't, you apply 1. So you're going to be in a world of hurt if you don't leave them without coefficients. Now, here's what we do. What's the base variable that's by itself? Okay, actually don't even write that. Just put base above the variable. What is a base variable? It's y. Ironically, we're going to parenthesize the y. There's still a 1 in front of it, not the 1. The 1's still there. We delete the y, and above it, we put what the y equals, 3x. Put that above it. Now you're going to line this up with the 3x instead of y in parentheses. So you see 1, you see x, you see plus, you see 1, but then you make a parentheses and you insert, make your parentheses, close it, and you insert 3x. Then after the parentheses, which means after this, what I'm tracing over, you have equals negative 32. Okay? Now we have x and x, we can now solve for x. Line up the equals. Now you have a parentheses, but it doesn't have a plus in it, so it's just taking 3 times 1x. 1 times 3x is 3x. So I just dropped 3x straight down. Now we also have to add the 1x. Some of you are like, well, don't you have to do it times 2 things? No, because there's no plus in the parentheses. It's just 1 times 3x. One product to find. There's no plus inside of it, so it's one product. Now, some of you are like, oh, 2x's, we got to get one of the smaller, we got to get rid of the smaller one. No, we don't. They're on the same side. So guess what that means? V it and add. So it's 4x equals negative 32. Now finally I can make my wall and mark my operators. It's just a time, so I divide by 4. So x equals negative 8. So put a negative 8 in the x. Now, how are we going to get y? Well, here's what we're going to do. Since we have to find y, let's use the equation where the y is by itself right there. And let's put this negative 8 in for x. So I put a times dot, x is gone, negative 8. So y equals 3 times negative 8. Now look at this. I'm solving for the y, so I make a wall on the y side, but the y is all by itself, so I just drop it down, and I just do the operation over there, okay? 3 times negative 8. What is 3 times negative 8? Negative 24. There it is. Okay. I'd never see that on a graph, because I mean, obviously our graph doesn't usually go to 24. I mean, if I had a ginormous graph, it would. Okay, my next one, 6y plus 5x equals 8, and then x equals negative 3y minus 7. Now, if I made a wall on this side, would a letter be by itself? Not even close. How about that? Well, there's not even a letter on that side. How about here? Oh yeah, there'd be an x. Remember, it can be x or y, so x is now the base. And I circle what it equals. Make that a plus negative, please. Now write the off base. 6y plus 5x equals 8. Okay, now the Herminator, x is his base variable, and he will be parenthesizing the x. He will be slashing out the x, and he will be putting that whole thing above the x. Negative 3y plus negative 7. Then he will line up his equation. 6y plus 5. Then I make the parentheses, okay? Make it kind of wide because you have to fit negative 3y plus negative 7x, negative 7. Now you're like, I closed it, now what? Well, go up to here after it's been closed and you have equals 8. Now Hermson has y and y, so he will be solving for y first. Okay? You have to let the process play out. So obviously we need to get rid of that ridiculous looking parentheses, so we put a times dot there. So now I do have a plus there, so now we're taking it times two things. See up here, 3x didn't have a plus, so it was just multiplying one thing. When I'm multiplying two things, I'm doing rainbows, making it rain. So negative 3y and negative 7. So we get negative 15y and we get negative 35. So I line up my equals. Now that plus, that was in the parentheses, we're going to drop him down and we're going to put negative 15y and negative 35. Now cross out the parentheses and the 5. Now you still have the 6y that needs to be added. Now you got two y's, two different y's, but they're on the same side. So we're not doing that, let's get the smaller one to 0. That's what you do when they're on both sides. Now they're just on one side. So I add 6 plus negative 15 is negative 9y. Then I add negative 35 equals 8. Now we finally can have the y, just a single y. So times. So you got to take out your negative 35 by adding. 8 plus 35 is 43. Okay. Now we'd get rid of a times. We divide. We don't add. Okay. I know you see the negative and it's tempting to add it, but you see it's times by the negative, so you divide by negative 9. Now, I did this right. That's not a very nice answer, is it? So you go second, PRB equals negative 4 and 7/9. That's better, okay? So y is negative 4 and 7/9. That's y. Remember to put it in for the right letter. Now we have to find x. Use the equation that's got the x by itself, okay? So write it down. And have this go in for y, negative 4 and 7/9. So just highlight it or parenthesize it and put negative 4 and 7/9. So we have negative 3 times parentheses negative 4 and 7/9, and then we have to add the negative 7. Okay. So again, that goes in for y, negative 3 times negative 4 and 7/9 plus negative 7. Okay, the letter's by itself, so drop it all the way down as far as you can, and you can just do the math on that side, okay? you times first. Negative 4, ABC 7, ABC 9. Then I add negative 7. Okay, times comes first, by the way. 7 1/3. That's right. Okay, I know it is. Been that problem for years. Okay, next one. 4x minus 3y equals negative 2. Y plus 3x equals 18. No, wait a second. I'm on the wrong side. Sorry. Okay. No, I'm on the wrong page. Sorry. Now I'm good. X equals y minus 3. 3x plus 4y equals 7. So again, we got to look for a base. If I made a wall on this side, I would have the letter that's by itself. Remember, it can be X or Y. And that's what it's equal to. Plus, negative, I usually put a 1, but don't put the 1 there though, because then you won't recognize that's by itself. Write the non-base, 3x plus 4y equals 7. Now, Herbson will parenthesize his base variable. He will slash it out, and he will put 1y plus negative 3 above it. Then he's going to line this equation up. So I drop the 3. Then I come to the parentheses, make it kind of wide. You put 1y plus negative 3. So I've written that down, but then after the parentheses, we have plus 4y equals 7. I have a lot of people that forget that the 4y is there. They'll just put equals 7. No, write that in parentheses, then after the parentheses, you have plus 4y equals 7. Now he's going to distribute. He has a plus, he has two things in that parentheses that need to be multiplied by 3. So he's going to write 3 times. He's going to drop his plus down, and then he's going to take 3 times 1y and 3 times negative 3. So it's 3y and negative 9. Done. But then we have plus 4y. So we have y and y. So they'll be on the same side. So it's going to be 7y plus the negative 9 equals 7. Times and plus, so got to take out the negative 9 by adding 9. And then 7 times y, 7 times plus 9 is 16. Then we divide by 7. 16 divided by 7. Not a good looking answer. So second PRB equals 2 2/7 is my y solution. Now we're solving for x. Use the one that's got the x by itself. Well, this goes in for y now, 2 2/7, okay? So line it up correctly. 1 times 2 2/7. I don't even care if you put it in parentheses, plus negative 3. Well, the letter I'm trying to find is by itself. So drop it all the way down and calculate that using order of operations. You want to times first. 1 times 2abc, 2abc 7. Then add your negative 3. Get the answer and add negative 3. Negative 5/7. Times is first though. So negative 5/7. Okay, look at that. It's beautiful. Okay. 3x plus 2y equals 23. 1/2 x minus 4 equals y. 3x plus 2y equals 23. 1/2 x minus 4 equals y. If I make a wall here, I don't have a letter by itself. If I make a wall here, there's not even going to be a letter, so that can't be the base. If I make a wall here, that's not going to have a letter by itself. But if I make it here, it does. Okay? So base. Circle the equals. Now write your non-base. 3x plus 2y equals 23. y is the base, so this time it's y. Again, sometimes it's x, sometimes it's y. You got to look, and you're going to put 1/2 x plus -4. Okay. So I have 3, I have x, I have plus, I have 2. I then make my parentheses, and I have 1/2 x plus -4. Then I have equals, and I have 23. See how I'm lining that up? Now I have x and x. Well, we have to do the distribution, and I do have a plus sign. So that means I got to take 2, my bad. 2 times each one of these, times 1/2 x, and then times -4. So that's 1x, use a calculator, and 2 times -4 is -8. So drop the plus, you put 1x, -8 out, but you got to remember to add the 3x. Then what am I going to do? I'm going to combine the x's. Again, you don't take the smaller one to 0 when they're on the same side. 4x plus -8 equals 23. Now I got x times 4, and we got an adding -8, so I add 8. Takes us to 31. Then I divide by 4. 31 divided by 4. Okay, I'm fine with decimals, because that's a clean decimal. I'm going to use that decimal. I mean, you can do second PRV equals, but I'm fine with that. Just those nasty ones that, like, you punch in, you're like, what? Okay. That's x. Remember to put it in the right part of the parentheses. So we're finding y. So we use the one where the y is by itself. So write 1/2 x minus 4 equals y. And 7.75 goes in for x. We're not going to have an x anymore because we already have its value. So I have 1/2. Here, you don't even need to put it in parentheses. Just put dot 7.75 minus 4 equals y. You can just do it like that. You can put it in parentheses. It doesn't matter. Now we're solving for y. But y is by itself, so drop it all the way down and calculate that. You times first. So that's that. Then I do either add -4 or -4. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Negative 0.125. Okay. At least it ended. I know that looks weird, but it's right. Okay. Okay, next up. (4x minus 3y equals -2, y plus 3x equals 18. If I made, okay, so again, I want substitution. Okay, now if I made a wall there, I wouldn't have x or y by itself. If I made a wall there, I wouldn't even have a letter. If I made a wall here, I wouldn't have x or y by itself. If I made a wall here, I wouldn't even. So you're like, what do I do? Well, pick the equation, please, that has one of the letters, y or x, that's not being multiplied by a number in the front. I think it would be this one. Write it on another piece of scratch paper. Then make your wall and circle that letter. Well, I'm going to get that by, I'm going to minus 3x, take that out. Now I need an x over here, minus 3x. And now I'd have y, negative 3x, because 0 minus 3 is negative 3, and then plus 18. Now cross that out and just write that equation. See, I don't want to do that one because I'd have to divide and crap. Okay, I would prefer to do one where I didn't have to divide. And what do you know? We have a base now. Now, write your non-base. 4x minus 3y equals -2. Okay, make sure the x and y have numbers in the front. Okay, if they don't, you want a 1 or you're going to have problems. Okay, y is the base, so it's y I take out and replace it with -3x plus 18. So line it up. 4 x minus 3. I'm actually going to make that plus negative 3. Then parentheses and put that top expression equals negative 2. Got it all lined up. Okay, I'm solving for x, so I have a plus and a parentheses. I need to do the distributive property. Okay, so negative 3, negative 3. Remember, it's got a minus. It goes plus negative times negative 3x and times 18. So it's going to be 9x, and that's going to be negative 54. Okay, so drop your plus, 9x, 54. Then you have to add the 4x that's in front. Okay, you got two different x's, but they're on the same side, so that's a v. That's just plussing them. That'd be 13x plus 54 equals negative 2. Now we're getting like Flynn. Times and plus. Minus your 54. Negative 2 minus 54. Whoa. That was a negative 54. I'm sorry. Okay. So it's plus 54. Caught it. Thank gosh. Okay. Negative 2 plus 54 is 52. And I divide by 13. And 52 divided by 13 is 4. Now I solve for y. Use the one that's got the y by it. Use a base because that's the one that's got the y by itself. And 4 goes in for x, okay? So we have y equals negative 3 times 4 plus 18. I don't even care if you put it in parentheses. I mean the other letters by itself, so I just put it all the way down here and do in times and add. Equals, then add 18, just like I am. Answer plus 18, 6. Finding the second letter is not hard, okay? Just putting that first answer in, you can just calculate it. Okay, next one. I have a similar problem. X plus 2 equals 2y, then 23 equals 5y minus 4x. Well, if I made a wall here, I wouldn't have the letter by itself. If I made a wall here, I wouldn't have the letter by itself. And then here, definitely not a letter at all. And I'd have letters, but not by themselves. So, find the equation that's got at least a letter that doesn't have a multiplying number in front. That would be this one, okay? And I circle that. We're getting rid of plus 2. Now I can't put minus 2 under there, that is a y, so I put a 0 without a letter and minus 2. Remember, you want the letter first, 2y, and then 0 minus 2 is negative 2. Now, that's what you're going to cross that out. And above it, just write x equals 2y minus 2. Now you got your base, okay? What does the base equal? That, okay? So right off the off base, 23 equals 5y minus 4x. Not a fan of minuses when doing these, okay? Y and x. So x is the base, x is the one we get rid of. And it's equal to 2y plus negative 2. 2y plus negative 2. So I drop 23, drop equals, drop 5, cross them out as you drop them. Y plus negative 4, and then parentheses, and then 2y plus negative 2. And that's the end, okay? Now, we got to distribute, but I'm working from the right this time. That's fine, okay? So I got that plus there, and I need to distribute negative 4 to 2 terms. Times 2y, and then times negative 2. So that's negative 8y, and that's 8. So negative 8y here, 8 here, Then we have to add 5y. Doesn't matter where you add it, as long as it's here or here, it doesn't matter. Because all I do is end up adding them anyway. Oh, sorry, they're right here. The y's are right here together. Okay, not there. Okay, so I write y down. 5 plus negative 8 is negative 3, and then plus 8. Okay, so you're over here with a times and a plus. You take out the plus. That's 15. Then you divide by negative 3. And negative 5 equals y. Now we're going to solve for x. Use your base, because that's the one that's got the x by itself. So x equals 2y plus negative 2. Okay, negative 5 goes in for y, so I put times, you put parentheses, negative 5. Okay, so x is equal to 2 times negative 5 plus negative 2. Okay, make a wall on the letter side. There's nothing over there, okay? So you drop it all the way down, circle that whole expression and calculate it. You times first, negative 10. Then you add negative 2, negative 12, just like that. So negative 12 and negative 5. It's one of those, it seems like it's a long process, but the more you work on it, the more it comes automatic. Okay, if I made a wall here, I'd have my base. Okay, I would not have to go to a scratch paper and rewrite it. Now, that's what it's equal to. Write your off base. 4x minus 2y equals 16. Again, I'm not a fan of minuses. Okay. Now the base is y. Take out y and put 2x plus 1. So 4x plus negative 2. Cross them out as you put them down here. Okay. Negative 2, parentheses, 2x plus 1. Then equals 16. Okay, we're going to solve for x. At least we're going to attempt to. Why did I say that? Well, let's see why. Okay, you got a parentheses. You're going to drop the plus. Then negative 2 times 2x times 1. So that's going to be negative 4x, and that's going to be negative 2. So you got negative 4x, negative 2. 4x. Okay. Now, a little interesting thing happens. 4 plus negative 4 is 0, dude. So you're going to put 0x. Yes, you're actually going to put 0x. Now, I want you to write the 0x, but then I want you to get rid of it, because 0 times any letter is 0. Now, you don't need this. This is all solution or no solution. Since they're different numbers, okay, it's just an equals. I don't go with the eat the bigger number thing. They're different. That's a no solution. So those lines would be parallel, okay? When graphed on a line, they would run parallel. They would never cross. Okay, last problem, finally, huh? Negative x plus 1/2 y equals 13, and then x plus 15 equals 1/2 y. Negative x plus 1/2 y equals 13, x plus 15 equals 1/2 y. Okay, now, if I made a wall here, I would not, by the way, you need to put a 1 there. If you have a negative from a number, that needs a negative 1. So obviously no base there. If I made a wall here, no base variable there because it's got plus 15, no base there. So I go to my scratch paper and I say, okay, which one of those two equations has a letter that's not multiplied? It'd be this one, the second one. So I'm going to take that to scratch paper and get that x by itself, because that's going to be easy, because I just minus 15 and make a 0, so I have a column to minus 15. That's negative 15. But you put the letter first, then minus 15. So now rewrite that, okay? X equals 1/2 y minus 15. And now we have a base variable. That's the point of that. Okay, base. Okay, write out the non-best. Base negative 1x plus 1/2 y equals 13. X is the base. Delete it and put its equal. The expression equals 1/2 y minus 15. Now, you had negative 1, then you had your parentheses, and in it you had 1/2 y minus 15, plus negative, of course. Okay. Now, cross that out. Then you got plus. Then you got 1/2 y. Then you have equals 13. Okay, I'm going to attempt to solve for y now. So, the equation's equal to 13. I drop that plus straight down. And I take negative 1 times 1/2 y and negative 15. Negative 1 times 1/2. Here, use a dang calculator if you have to. Okay. Negative 1/2 y. So, that negative 1 times negative 15 is 15. Plus 1/2 y. Okay, now again, we combine the y's. Ooh, I got 0. 0y. 0 is actually going to be less work for us. Plus 15 equals 13. Whenever I get a variable as 0, it needs to be removed. And I need to get rid of that. And it's all solution or no solution. Again, I didn't end up with the same number. When I end up with, if I'd have had a 15 there, 15 and 15, I would be circling all solutions, but they're different. 15 is obviously not equal to 13. That's false, so that's no solution.